One of these is a Festool brand domino, and the other one I just made with a specialty router bit. Can you spot the difference? The sponsor of today's video is findbytool.com. That's findbytool.com. They approached me to review this specialty router bit and see if it's a good quality DIY alternative to buying the more expensive Festool brand dominoes. This doesn't replace the Festool domino joiner, but instead complements it with a DIY made tenon. At first glance, the bit has a sharp carbide tip. It feels weighty and well balanced, and overall it looks like a really solid, well-built tool. But the real question is, can it make a domino that competes with the Festool brand dominoes? Findbytool.com offers various sizes of this specialty router bit: 10mm, 8mm, 6mm, and 5mm. These match Festool brand domino sizings, and so the hope is that they're interchangeable and I won't be able to really tell a difference between the two. Today, I'm testing the 5mm bit. I started by ripping down some scrap maple into 18mm widths with my table saw, then splitting it vertically to create smaller stock that I can run through my planer. From there, I milled the pieces to the precise dimensions needed to match the Festool dominoes. Now with the specialty router bit setup, I'm cutting the side profile so it looks the same and fits into the mortise just like a Festool domino would. For safety, always use push blocks or a custom jig for something like this. You don't want your fingers near the bit. Since I was only doing a small batch, it was way faster for me to just stop short and keep my fingers clear because the bit does extend above the wood surface. After routing, I trimmed them to exact length using my miter saw. Using a micrometer, let's check the dimensions. Thickness of the Festool domino was 5.17mm and the DIY tenon 5.07, so pretty close. In the width, the Festool domino was 18.92mm and the DIY tenon 17.85. Length, 28.55 for the Festool domino and the DIY tenon 28.72mm. Overall, the measurements are very close, though there is a slight variation likely due to my user error during the milling process. If you're going to mass produce these, precision is key though, but from a practical standpoint, once they're glued in, I doubt you'd really notice any difference between the two at all. Now that we have our tenons, we need mortises. I'm using the Festool domino joiner with a 5mm bit to cut into the scrap maple that I had left over from a previous project. Time for the test fit. The DIY tenon fits flush and smooth, but has just a touch more slop than the Festool brand. Again, that's very likely due to my user error more than it is the router bit itself. In the end, it won't really make a noticeable difference once you add glue. The Festool domino, though, does fit slightly more snug, but again, both are very, very similar in size. We're talking tenths or hundredths of a millimeter here. So, what are my final thoughts? If you subtract minor user error during the milling process, these DIY tenons are very, very close to the Festool brand in dimension, strength, and look. Once glued in, the difference is going to be negligible. So now that we've successfully duplicated the tenon using this router bit, the final question is, do you value time or money more? Making these took me just over half an hour, which included tool setup, and that was just to make 2 tenons. I probably could have done 2 dozen in that same amount of time simply because tool setup was the most time-consuming part of the process. And it was my first time doing it. If I were batch producing hundreds of these, I believe the savings would really begin to add up over time and might be worth it in the long run to you. The router bit itself, it's well made, balanced, and does exactly what it's advertised to do. So if you're looking to save some cash and stop spending 7 cents per domino for the Festool brand, definitely give this specialty bit a chance. You can find it at findbytool.com, where they have a variety of specialty tools, including planers, joiner tools, lathe turning tools, saw blades, carbide burrs, drill bits, clamps, chisels, and more. They ship within the United States, and if you want to check them out, the link is in the description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.